We're live? Let's go. All right. Welcome to the Wednesday Live after a 3-week hiatus. I apologize. Okay, number one, first week we canceled it because we were getting ready for a big video shoot in Arizona, and then I'm going to be 100% honest. I forgot about the live because we were so busy shooting video in Arizona 2 weeks ago, and then last week I was throwing up in my bathroom. So transpired that way, but we're back. Okay, so we're back live. And today we're going to be talking about how to wash in a paint and spray. So we got out of the office, out of the detail bay. We're here at Glacier Dog and Car Wash here in Thornton. We're like right off like 92nd, and I think this is, do you know which one this is? No idea. I can't remember. I think it's Huron, to be honest with you. But this place is awesome, and the people that run this place are amazing as well. They have a pressure washing business, and they actually use a lot of our products, and they encourage you to bring your own products to this place, which is why I come here. A lot of places are a big no-no on that. So I made sure I came here. I talked to the people here, and they were like, yeah, of course. We see people use Adams polishes here all the time. So big benefit to coming to a place like this that accepts you using your own products, okay? And I'm still gonna use some of their stuff, but today I'm gonna walk you through kind of like how I would clean this car. This is WRX, and it's been driving in winter, so it's like crazy, crazy dirty. And there's a lot of salt, kind of like magnesium chloride on here. So it may be a little bit of a jacked up license plate, but not my car. So what I did is I brought one of our buckets, and I made sure that this was up while I was driving, because if this splashes around, there's water in here. If this splashes around, it's not going to splash water everywhere. So made sure I did that. So you can see I have a wash pad with just clean water in here. Okay. So I'll use that here in just a second. And then I brought 3 wheel cleaning tools. So just angled wheel brush, wheel face brush, and then the fender brush. Okay, so I'll set these over here. And then I also brought a trunk organizer, V2. I love this thing. This is one of my favorite things. I'm just gonna lay this out here just a second so you can see what I have, and then I'll get into it. So what I have in here is I have 4 borderless gray towels. I have H2O garden gloss, which I will use. I have graphene tire dressing, wheel and tire cleaner, graphene shampoo. I have some CS3. I also have some iron remover, and I don't think I'm actually going to use it. I don't think I need it today. So I have 5 products I'm using today total. A couple tire sponges, and then my secret, which we don't sell, is some wetsuit gloves. Okay, this is going to keep my hands warm for the most part while I'm doing this process. So that's all I have right now. And you know, my recommendation to you is ask questions during this. So like hit us in the comments, and Matthew will ask me the question, and then I'll address it, I'll answer it. But washing out of paint spray, you can do it a whole different way. It's almost like backwards. Like we really teach people, clean your wheels and tires first, then move on to the car. I do it backwards because what I want to do is at the very end of my full wash, I want to rinse the whole car off and be done. I got to be fast at this because I don't know if someone's going to pull up behind me. So just follow along with this if you really want to learn how to do this. And I think this is just one of those quick, effective ways to get your car clean, especially on a day like today where it's, what is it out, Matthew? It's probably 52, it says on my watch, which that's a generous 52. It feels like it's 45. But you can't really see it, but there's still snow on the ground in places. But as you can see, the roads are dry. So after it snowed, roads are dry. This is the perfect time to clean your car. It's also supposed to snow this weekend. But what I don't want is this salt and magnesium chloride just to stay on here for an extended period of time. So what I want to do is wash your car consistently through the winter. And just FYI, if you want a more in-depth version of this, other than following along with the live, we have a video that's how to wash your car at a self-serve car wash. And it goes step by step. I think it's like a 30-minute long video. This live's an hour, so this might even be more thorough. But Yeah, ask questions, please. And if you have questions aside from the topic today, just any Adams polishes or detailing questions in general, don't hesitate, all right? And I will say too, like, oh, they just launched an online tint sale. So if you're looking to get stuff, detailing supplies for a little bit cheaper, that's a great sale to check out. And also, I just want to say I'm super excited. Here in the next 3 weeks or so, we will be starting to launch all those videos we shot in Arizona. And we did everything from, you know, how to ceramic coat your car in under an hour to how to wash your car in under 30 minutes, all the way up to machine polishing versus hand polishing. So a lot of like cool topics and cool information, and it's both Adam and I during that. So I think it really turned out really great. And the whole media team got to come along with it. Matthew included, Chris, Kai, and Elin, and they freaking crushed it. So it's been really awesome. So
Peter says, do you recommend a pre-wash during the inclement weather to help protect against road grime?
Yes, Peter. So that's one thing I'm going to do here. So I just wanted to show you, like on here, we have like a ton of options at a pay and spray, and like for the most part, you know, like maybe their foam brush isn't exactly the best option because they don't like clean those brushes. So this can scratch your car a little bit. But you have other things in here like a mag remover, so magnesium chloride remover. You have a bug remover, tire and engine cleaner, pre-soak. There's a lot of stuff in here. I will probably use this mag remover. So what I could do is come here and use strip wash in my bucket as the cleaner because that's intended to get rid of road salts. But strip wash like destroys my hands. It doesn't do that to everybody. I'm sensitive to it, so I can't use it in my bucket. I can use it to foam the car down like in a foam cannon, but I can't get it on my hands. When I shot the video for that, actually the product page video, my hands turned bright red and they hurt for like 2 days. So there's something in it that's my skin sensitive to, so I can't use that in my bucket here. So what I will do is use their essentially strip wash formula of a mag remover to kind of use that to foam the car down first, and then we'll get into cleaning it. So yes, Peter, using something to get road salts and magnesium chloride off your car, extremely important, okay? So, but first what I want to do is use the high pressure rinse, so number 6. So I just know on here I have to select number 6, but what I'm going to do is, hopefully they don't get mad, but I'm going to whack the company card. So we'll do that first. Oh, we can use up to $100. Dude, we can stay here all day. I'm good with that. Okay.
Jose Vargas asked, hoseless 6-to-1 or APC 5-to-1 as a pre-wash?
Oh, that's a good question. To be honest with you, Jose. So Jose asked, hoseless 6-to-1 or do you say APC all-purpose cleaner 5-to-1? You know what? Do hoseless wash 6-to-1 and add 2 capfuls of APC into that. Here's the thing. I don't think you need APC. Don't use APC. APC is a good product, but it's a degreaser. So this stuff is not grease, right? Like this is salt. So like I'd almost tell you to maybe add a little bit of strip wash into a hoseless wash as like a pre-soak. But for the most part, I don't think you really need to do that bad, you know? This high pressure rinse is gonna do a lot of the work, okay? So don't overthink it too much. But if your car is really filthy, like maybe even just waterless wash as a pre-treatment. But I do pre-treatments like that with hoseless wash and waterless wash before I do the hoseless wash process because I want as much lubrication as possible. I have graphene shampoo as my lubrication, so like I don't need to bump it because graphene shampoo already does so much of that work. So yeah, I don't think when you're doing self-serve car wash, I wouldn't complicate it too much. Like use the high pressure rinse and then use some of the other stuff. But so that's what I'm doing right now. So you can see like pretty good pressure now, but like when I pull the trigger, it does even more. Now, one thing I do, I will say this, especially like in a place that has winter conditions, doing this process at a self-serve car wash is so much more enjoyable because this water is there's a boiler. So like this hose is like warm on my hands. So it keeps your hands nice and warm, but then once I get into the washing, I'll put my wetsuit gloves on, and that will protect it from the wind as they get wet. And what happens with those wetsuit gloves, for anybody that doesn't have experience with them, is wetsuit gloves essentially, I think they're neoprene. They will hold some of the water, and then it uses your body heat to warm up that water, and that's what keeps your hands warm. That's why like a wetsuit works. And actually, when you first get in, because I used to go surfing in Northern California where I grew up, and the water is like consistently like 50 and 60 degrees. When you first get in the ocean, when you're wearing a wetsuit, you actually like pull it open a little bit so water gets into it, so your body can heat up the water, and then it puts like a layer of hot water between you and your wetsuit and keeps you warm while you're surfing. Or whether it's surfing or whether it's diving, or even abalone diving. That was, my dad and I used to go abalone rock picking, which was really fun and awesome. So right now I'm just doing as thorough of a wash as I can do. I'm trying to get as much of the loose dirt and slime off. This will do a lot of the work, Bro, his exhaust tips are real bad. Every time I clean his car, they're real bad. Okay, let's put this down. Oh, actually, before I turn the water off, that's another thing, is you want to be able to manage, like, you don't want this to keep running because your price just continues to go up. So managing that is important so you don't spend too much money. But while I'm here, I'm going to take my graphene shampoo. And when you do this, you want to put it onto your wash pad. Okay, so I'll put a little bit into the bucket, just like one squeeze, but then I'm going to put it onto the actual wash pad because I want as much soap coming out of my wash pad as possible. So 3 squeezes total. Put that back into my thing. And now what we can do is, I'm going to take this, put it barely into the thing, pull the trigger. And I just want to generate as much suds as possible, okay? We'll put this away. Now let's see what this mag remover does. I think it's probably going to come out of this foamer. So it's not as bad on the top half of the car, it's more on the bottom half. So I'll take this and hit more of the bottom half here, okay? And I'll probably hit the wheels and I don't need a ton. Oh yeah. Make sure I'm trying to hold this like hose back like this, kind of intertwined with the other one, but what I don't want to do is just drag this hose along the car while I'm using it. So be conscious of that. Okay, bottom half I think is pretty good like that. The other thing about this process is I know that like this time of year, it's harder to keep your car perfect, So I'm going to stop this now. So it charged me $7. So I'm $7 in right now. So not all that crazy. But I was going to say, I know that I can't keep my car super, super perfect. Obviously, like a ceramic coating is going to help with that. But I need to be realistic with my expectations of washing in the winter. So I know like come springtime when the weather turns to 60 degrees and it's not snowing as much anymore, then I can start getting into, more extensive washing after I've polished a car and things like that, right? This, I know that I'm just gonna, I might get a little bit of damage during this, but this is the safest way to wash a car at like a self-serve, right? Without taking up too much time.
Jacob asked, I did graphene ceramic coating about a month ago, and I've noticed some high spots recently at certain angles. How can I go about fixing it?
That's a good question, Jacob. So Jacob has the all familiar high spot question on a ceramic coated car. And just FYI, Jacob, not that you think this or anything, but you didn't do anything wrong. So high spots is something, every time you coat a car, you get high spots. The only way to not get high spots is to wipe it off too early, which is that doesn't help your coating, right? But high spots just kind of comes with the territory. So to fix those high spots, when did he say he did it?
A month ago.
A month ago, okay. So there's kind of a little bit of a timeline when it comes to that. You just said you did it a month ago. So what I would try first, Jacob, is if you have brilliant glaze, try brilliant glaze first. There's like a tiny little bit of an abrasive in there. Nothing that's gonna mar the surface or anything, but go over it with brilliant glaze first and foremost. So try brilliant glaze first. Now, if you do that and you wipe the brilliant glaze off and it didn't fix it, then what I would say is move on to, if you have the Adams Polish's white polish and a white polishing pad, just like a little bit of that, just you don't need to rub, like you don't need to push hard and rub, just the weight of your hand going over it. The white polish always fixes it every time. And I think it's not gonna remove the coating at all. But just for good measure, I always just put like one more layer of coating back onto to that section that you fix the high spot. So
Patrick asked, when would you suggest to use the foam and seal product?
the foam and seal product?
Yes.
Foam and seal, dude, that's like, not a lot of people even ask about that. That's one of my favorite products, to be honest. Foam and seal. Okay, foam and seal is like, let me just get some of this water out of here. It's a little too much. Okay. Foam and seal, okay? Foam and seal is almost like an express car wash, okay? Foam and seal, you don't need 2 buckets. I don't even use 1 bucket when I do foam and seal. So foam and seal is like a quick maintenance wash for either a ceramic coated vehicle or a vehicle that's been protected. So, I would say, who asked that again? Patrick, that's right. I would say, Patrick, I don't know. I'd use it almost similar to like H2O Garden Gloss, so like every 4th wash maybe. Or realistically, like what I would tell you is when you start to see the water behavior start to flatten a little bit, whether you're, I don't know how you're protecting your car, but if you're using like H2O Garden Gloss, then once you see the water start to flatten a little bit, it's not like super tight beads, like easy to wash type of thing, then do the foam and seal process, and it helps like boost that water behavior.
Ken Wilson asked, starter and good all-around polisher, what side would you recommend?
Starter and good all-around polisher, 100%. Who asked that again? Sorry.
Ken Wilson.
Ken Wilson. Starter and good all-around polisher, the 12 millimeter Pro, or any of the 12 millimeter. I think we call that the mini. That's not the micro, but the mini. So it's like a 3-inch backing plate, uses a 3.5-inch pad. And the reason why Adam and I promote that as a good, just like all-around polisher is that you can get into places like, and I also don't know what kind of car you have, but you can polish these, A pillars and B pillars and all that. If you get the 15 millimeter, sometimes it's too big to do that kind of stuff. And it's like very powerful. So the 12 millimeter just all around is like the really good, like, not first polisher, but just sort of like the best one to be able to polish 95% of your car.
Send me the Toyota Corolla hatchback.
Yeah, Toyota Corolla hatchback, 12 millimeter, not even a question. And one thing I will say is like, don't get too caught up with like, it's a smaller polisher and you need to do the whole car in one day or one weekend. Like you can do sections at a time. And that's kind of how Adam and I do it. It's like, you know, I'll catch an hour one evening after I take my son to basketball practice and I get home and they're doing their homework and I just like have a breath of fresh air. I'll just go out and I'll polish like one door, you know, and I can use the 12 millimeter to do that. Polish one door, ceramic coat it. And then I know the next time I come back to do it, I just do like this section right here, like this rear fender going up into the C-pillar. Then the next time I have an hour, maybe I catch 3 hours. It's like my wife and kids are at a birthday party and I'm just chilling at home. Maybe I'll do the whole back section. But I will say this, polishing is one of those things, it's like instant gratification. Like once you start to see how your car transforms into perfection, I think a lot of people get like hooked. They're not willing to do little sections at a time. They're just like, this looks so good, I'm gonna do the whole thing, you know? So, but yeah, I would just say both Adam and my suggestion would be to do 12 millimeter.
Daniel Carrillo, how do you know what pad and product you need when polishing the car? He drives a Mango Orange Charger.
Oh, geez. You say Daniel? Daniel Carrillo. How do I know which pad and polisher to use on a car? You know, it's a good question, Daniel. The way you know is you do a test spot on your car before you do the whole thing. So, you know, I think what a lot of people think is you just like take the polisher, put a pad on it, and just start going. What you want to do first is you want to do a section on the car, maybe like this big, right here, like just this section right here, and you get this portion perfect. So what you want to do is start with kind of like middle of the road. If you really don't know, especially on like a orange, say Charger, you know, if you don't really know like how the paint's going to respond, start with the least aggressive method first. So Adams Polishes has a two-step polishing system. The way most people do it would be like start with compound and either the microfiber pad or the blue foam pad, and then you follow it up with the white foam pad and the white polish. So what I would tell you to do, Daniel, is do this section, split this up into like 3 sections, right? 1, 2, 3 maybe, or you could even do like over here. And like start here and just do the white foam pad with the white polish. And go over it, do like, this is like side to side and then up and down. That's one pass. Do like 2 or 3 passes with the white polish and the white foam pad and see the results you get. And if it's like mind-blowing, like you're like, whoa, that's amazing, then you do that to the whole car, okay? Most of the time, if your car has some scratches or damage, it's not gonna do that with a white polish because white polish is intended to clear up the haziness or marring left behind compound. Compound removes damage. It like fixes scratches. So if it doesn't do what you want in this section, then move to here and then do the blue foam with the blue compound and do that. Same thing, side to side, up and down. That's one pass. Do 2 or 3 passes. Take your time. See what it looks like there. If it looks a little hazy or maybe it looks amazing, you're like, whoa, I've never seen my car look like that. Then maybe just do that one step to the whole car. But what I would recommend is follow it up with the white polish like you did here, see what it looks like, and then if it looks perfect, now you know that you start with the blue foam and the blue compound, you do that on the whole car, and then you follow up with the white polish and the white foam pad, and then you're done. But if it doesn't remove enough damage with the blue foam and the blue compound, you just step up to the microfiber pad. Then you use the microfiber pad with the blue compound, and then you follow it up with the white polish. But really what you want to do, Daniel, is minimize the amount of variables that it takes to do your thing. You want to keep it as simple as possible. So keep your machine at setting number 4, speed setting 4, for both the first step and the second step. And the only thing you want to change is, like, if you want to be more aggressive, just switch the pad or switch the polish, if that makes any sense. But realistically, our system is designed to be a 2-step system, from starting with compound to correct the paint or like remove the damage, and then follow it up with the white polish to, like make the gloss, kind of that showroom gloss that everybody's kind of chasing, So, but yeah, to understand what your car needs, you need to do like the test spot, starting with the test spots first, because realistically what's going to happen is then your car is going to tell you what it wants. It's going to, and the reason why I tell you to do that is because every single car is different and every single era of car is different. So some cars have extremely hard paint and other cars have extremely soft paint, and then 80% of cars have just standard hardness of paint, which is like medium, which, most cars will react well to it. So, but the thing is, I'm not like in your garage, and I don't have like a registry or a directory of like, okay, you have orange paint on a Charger, your paint's hard. Like, I could never tell you that, So doing the test spot, I call it my research area, because it's like, I'm kind of giving myself some information and a baseline to start, and then I go do the rest of the car.
Got a few more questions. Aaron asked, is there going to be a Valentine's limited edition spray, detail spray this year?
That's Aaron Kremble, huh?
Yes, sir.
Dude, Aaron, you've been asking that on the community page, and I really appreciate your diligence, because, dude, Aaron's like the ultimate. He's got so many great limited edition products, and I think he has everyone in the company's signature, which is really cool too. So, Aaron, unfortunately this year, we skipped the limited edition for Valentine's Day. We just did like a sale. It was like a perfect pairs sale. So, I know that's not the answer you wanted to hear, Aaron, but this year I don't know. I think the limiteds, correct us if we're wrong, but it feels like they're kind of getting, I don't know if tired is the right word, but they just seem like, any good thing needs to be paused for a minute, so that's kind of like how we did it. But anyways, really quick before I jump into the next question. So I've washed the whole car. So I've took the wash pad, and just FYI, I kept coming back to this, wash pad because I kept coming back to the bucket because I have, if I could get it out, I have the grate in here. So I would be washing this, and I would know, like, it's getting really dirty. So I would take this and rub this against here, because I wanted all the loose sediment to come and fall to the bottom of the bucket, and then these fins prevent the loose dirt to come back up to the top of the bucket. So I was trying to get as much of the loose, like, dirt and grime off of my wash pad as I continued to wash it throughout the whole time. So I just wanted you guys to know that's why I kept putting my hands in the bucket. And FYI, next time I'm going to put hot water in that bucket. My hands aren't cold because these gloves are preventing the wind from doing that, but you definitely can feel it's a little bit colder water. But before I move on, so I've washed the car. So like I said, I'm doing this backwards. Normally you clean the wheels and tires first, then you wash the car. I wash the car first because with this soap on here, the graphene shampoo, it neutralizes the hard water. So I'm not going to get water spots. So now what I can do is then clean each wheel individually. Then I'll just whack the company card again, and then I'll rinse the whole car all at one time. And I'm not having to turn the water on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off. Not use as much money either. I'm only going to turn the water on twice, right? So like I said, I'm at like $7 right now. I want to maybe keep this at like a $10 wash, at the most. So that's why I'm going to do it this way, because it allows me to kind of take my time, and then what I'll do is after I rinse the whole car, or even hit it with, there's a spot-free rinse. It's not high pressure, but it's a spot-free rinse. So I'll even use a spot-free rinse to, have the safest like not have hard water on the car. Then I'll pull it forward, and then we H2O garden gloss like right here. So then the next person can come in and start washing as we're protecting. Does that make sense? Protecting and drying at the same time. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna grab my wheel cleaner, and I also need the wheel cleaning tools. And the other piece of this too is I want to be able to have as much lubrication with my water in my bucket. So all the soap is still in my bucket. So I can use that with my wheel cleaning tools to clean them with my wheel and tire cleaner, and just makes it nice and effective during this like winter washing process. So now I'll just put these in here. Okay, now I can get them with the water. Now I'll bring this over here and turn this to spray. And now quickly hit these.
Bob Dunlop says, hey Joe, can I dilute graphene VRT to spray in the engine compartment?
Ooh. Yes, and hi Bob. So Bob, yeah, definitely. So I tend to do it like 50-50. So I will dilute it like 50% water, 50% graphene VRT, and I actually use it more for dressing tires because I have knobby tires. So VRT doesn't work for me because I need to be able to spray something onto my tires. But yes, you can use that, spray it into the engine bay, and then take like one of those tire, like the blocks, and then wipe it all down. It makes it look amazing. So yeah, definitely you can do that, Bob, 100%. And I think realistically, the reason why I say 50-50 is like, I just want to get it to a point where I can spray it. You know, I don't, it doesn't need to be like super, super diluted, because the more you dilute VRT, the more like less, or I guess the less of a finish it provides, which I want it to look jet black when I use VRT. And if I dilute it too much, then you kind of lose that. It kind of takes any sort of look away from it. So just if you dilute it 50-50, 50% VRT, 50% water, then, and you still can't spray it, like your spray trigger is having trouble spraying it, then just add a little bit more water at a time. But don't overdo it, because you still want to have the look of graphene VRT in spray form. So that's just my suggestion. Okay.
I got a claim it. What's the best way?
Ooh, that's a good question, Bo. What's up, Bo? You guys know what? Bo knows, dude. It's one of the best marketing campaigns ever. For you young guys out there, Bo Knows is a campaign for Bo Jackson, who's like arguably like the greatest athlete of all time. And yeah, anyways, Bo, how to use your clay mitt. Whoa, dude, that wheel and tire cleaner is strong. Clay mitt. So you can use your clay mitt a couple different ways. So I would tell you that your clay mitt is more of a maintenance clay, and maybe maintenance clay isn't the right way to say it. It's more of a clay medium that you don't necessarily, you're not going to be able to remove an excess amount of bonded contamination. So, you know, some cars get like really neglected, like they've never been clayed ever, right? In that case, you need something a little bit more focused and a little bit more aggressive, in which I would recommend more of like the clay bar. But with the clay mitt, it's more, for me, I use it more as like a maintenance type of clay, meaning like I had already once clayed my car, or like my car was new, and I don't necessarily need to be like removing a ton of damage from like if my car was in the shop, whatever. The way I like to use the clay mitt is I will wash my car first. So that's rinse it off, okay? Or clean my wheels and tires first. Clean my engine. Clean my exhaust tips if I need to. Then I will go and wash my car. So I'll rinse it first, foam my car down, hit it with the mitt, wash the whole car. I'm trying to get the loose dirt and grime off. Then I'll rinse my car, re-foam it. So I'm foaming onto a clean car now after it's been rinsed. And I use that foam as a lubrication for the clay mitt. And I have the clay mitt in my soapy bucket from when I'm doing like a 2-bucket wash. Dunk my clay mitt into the soapy bucket, and I just go super fast over all the paint. And it really takes me like 10 minutes to go over the whole car. Doesn't take very long at all. So that for me is the easiest way to do it, because then what you can do is then go and dry your car off, and you sort of just clayed your car all the while you were washing it. Makes it super efficient and really easy. So that would be like my biggest suggestion. If you don't have time to, or if you don't do it like that, you can clay your mitt. You can clay your car super quick by just using detail spray as a clay lube. Spray it on and hit it with the mitt. And like, you can have detail spray in this hand, your clay mitt in this hand, and just spray, wipe, wipe, spray, wipe, wipe, spray, wipe. So it's just a matter of going over the surface, not as much of like, you don't need to feel like you're grinding the clay mitt into the surface. And just FYI, like when you're doing the claying portion, I think a lot of people have anxiety about like what goes into the clay mitt. You're not putting dirt, like loose dirt and grime into your clay mitt. If anything, it's material that's similar to that clay medium, like paint overspray. Like think about it, it's like paint, right? Like acrylic. It's kind of flexible and kind of similar to like what the clay feels like. And also like tree sap. These are things that like if it goes into the clay mitt, it's not going to scratch your car if you use it again. Now if on the other hand, if you drop your clay mitt or you drop your clay bar and it gets pebbles into it, now it's a whole different thing, right? Like you need to get rid of it and get a new thing. But if you don't drop your clay mitt or clay bar, don't get too caught up with like, oh, you need to like wipe off the residue and then clay again. And it's just, don't overthink it. Like let the detail spray or the car soap be the lubrication, rub it on the surface. If you rub too hard, you could potentially mar the surface. I think I see that a lot of people feeling like they personally need to do more work. So they push harder, like they're scrubbing, and then they mar the surface, The clay is doing a lot of the work already. It's kind of like your polisher, right? Like when you're polishing, you don't need to like push harder to grind down on the surface. The pad and the polish and all this stuff's doing the work by itself. You just need to be there to hold it and like have a certain technique. But I recommend using the clay mitt while you wash. It's one of the easiest ways to do a quick clay on your car. And by the way, on this Arizona trip, I got Adam to do a video on how to clay your car while washing. So that video will come out probably in like March time. But that video is awesome.
User LKN says, hello from France, and then kind of a two-parter to clay.
Wait, LKN from France?
Yeah.
Dude, let's go.
Can I use car shampoo / foam to use my clay bar? Kind of going over the same thing.
Use car shampoo / foam to use my clay bar.
Use it with the clay bar.
Use clay bar? Yeah, 100%. I kind of just gave like a full novel on like how to do that. So, but we'll have a video coming out about that here in the next couple months. But yeah, same thing. Just wash the car first. Like I was talking about it, you want to get the loose dirt and grime off first, because if that loose dirt and grime gets into the clay bar, then it can scratch the surface. Okay, so make sure the car is nice and clean before you get into claying while washing. That's like the number one thing I would make sure to consider. So,
Bruce Waldron asks, brilliant glaze to correct high spots. Why is it that I don't need to reapply graphene ceramic coating sand?
that's a good question. Who asked that again?
Bruce Waldron.
Bruce Walton?
Waldron.
Waldron, sorry, Bruce. The reason why is because your ceramic coating is so durable that the little bit of like abrasive that brilliant glaze has isn't enough to remove the ceramic coating, and not even like, I mean, it might barely do anything as far as like removal. If anything, what it's doing, it's just kind of evening out that top layer of how you got that high spot. So you don't, the only way you could remove the coating from your car is by fully compounding it and machine polishing it. I mean, some people would even tell you that the only way sand it off, which is not true. These are insane. This might be I need to order a new angled wheel brush after this type of process, but it was driving me so crazy that I couldn't help myself. Anyways, Bruce, I will say this though, like, no, you don't necessarily have to reapply the coating. I personally would. It's just like a peace of mind thing, you know? So if you have the coating, just add another layer to it, but don't get too caught up with letting it cure for, you know, super crazy long. You can wipe it off in a more reasonable amount of time because you know that there's coating on the car already. It's just more of like an evening out type of thing. So I may have said it before. Sorry. Other people may have said it before where you don't need to reapply it, but if it gives you peace of mind, do it, Bruce. Add another layer to it. It's not going to hurt anything. You know what I mean? Please be approved. I'm just kidding. Okay. 6, high pressure. I'm going to do high pressure rinse first because I just want to blast this car off the best I can. And then what I will do is I'll hit it with the spot-free rinse. So first things first, high pressure rinse. And here's the thing. So check this out. Some of the soap has dried on here. Like, see this? Some of the soap is dried. And you can actually see some of the magnesium chloride in it. Do you see that, Matthew? Yeah. It's like salty almost. But what's happening is the soap, the surfactant has incorporated with the salt now. So now even if I just hit it like this, it rinses off perfect every time. So that's why, like, I'm not worried if the soap dries on the car, and especially if the soap dries on the car with that magnesium chloride or salt, because when I come back and I hit it, it just rinses off perfect. But you can see his paint is crazy flat, like it's not protected at all, zero. So I want to make sure that when I'm done doing this, I get the car rinsed off, that I get it out there and I can protect it with H2O Garden Gloss, which is like one of the greatest products that we've ever launched at Adams Polishes. And if you're not familiar with it, like, you're in for a treat because it's a very, very unique product. Okay, so stay tuned, as you know, the big networks would say. You can keep asking questions if you want, Matthew.
Yeah, Joel F. says, silly question.
Who was it?
Joel F.
Joel F.
Silly question. I like to wash my car on a rainy day so I don't have to dry the car. Is this okay?
Yeah. You know what, Joel? I like where you're going with this. I will, the one thing, so here's the thing. Most rain, like 90% of rain, is filtered water, okay? If you get, if it rains on your car and then the water dries, you will never see spots. The only thing you will see is little pools of where dirt incorporated with the rain, and then the water evaporated into the air, and then the dirt is in like the form of water, but that like rinses off really easy, right? If your car is perfectly clean and it rains, you will never see a water spot because rain is filtered water. Aside from acid rain. So like in areas like LA or San Francisco, New York, there has been reports of like acid rain happening. So that would be like my only thing of like, if you're washing your car and then it like acid rains and you see spots, that could be what it's from. But depending on where you're at, Joel, Joel, where do you live? Comment and tell us where you live so we can all come wash with you in the rain. But if you live in an area where you don't have to deal with like acid rain, which I think is kind of more uncommon nowadays, I don't we don't really worry about that here in Colorado. But in areas where you don't have acid rain, then yeah, dude, wash your car in the rain and then rinse it off, and then let the rain spot-free rinse it, let nature spot-free rinse it, and then be good to go. But I think the only thing I would say about like washing in the rain is that even though it's raining, there still can be like dirt and stuff in the air. And especially like if you then have to drive your car in the rain, the ground is really dirty. So everyone knows this, you know, pretty much washing your car is like doing a rain dance. Every time I wash my car, it rains. It's just like, really? Come on. Like, so everyone knows this. You get done washing your car, it rains, you drive on the wet roads, your car's dirty again. So it actually happened when we were in Arizona, and we fully ceramic coated the car, spray coated it. Literally that night it rained when we were driving it to the place where it was supposed to go. And it actually worked out, because then what we could do is we made a video on how to do an express wash in under 30 minutes in your driveway, because the car was dirty, but not dirty enough to where we needed to do a full 2-bucket wash. So it actually kind of worked out in our favor to do a cool video. But that would be my only other thing, Joel, is like, you know, you don't want to do all this work and effort to then like have to do it again a few days later. But again, I am not here to tell people what to do. If washing while it's raining, you get the results that you want, dude, you should wash in the rain every single time it rains. You know, that's like, I think it's cool that you do that. You know, I'd probably say 99.9% of people watching on this live would not wash their car in the rain, you know, which is kind of cool. So Joel lives in Seattle. Well, guess what? Joel has to wash in the rain because it rains every freaking day there. So there you go, Joel. Joel, I don't know if you ever like ventured down into Oregon or even like California, but I grew up like about an hour from Oregon at the top of California, and it's very similar weather. Like it rains all the time there. And so yeah, washing cars isn't necessarily like something you do a lot in those areas, but if you need to wash while you're, dude, Joel has a very much a rain reality, and so he pretty much like has to wash in the rain when he gets a chance. So good for Joel, man. I think that's cool. Dude, Joel, comment on here. What's the weather been like up there, man? You guys have been getting that, what's it called, like an Arctic river or something like that? Or I can't remember the name of it. Atmospheric river or something? Dude, record rainfall in like California, and I think in the town where I grew up in, Arcata, Eureka, like they got their yearly average in like 13 hours. It was just like, it just came down hard. So yeah, that weather has been nuts out there. And you know, hopefully what that means is everyone's cars are going to be dirty, so they're going to need to wash them. So, okay, so I just did the high pressure rinse. I'm going to switch to spot-free rinse. This isn't exactly like, it might be doing something, but I'm using filtered water now. And what I'm trying to do is get as much of the hard water off the car as possible. It kind of does it, it kind of doesn't. But if anything, it gives me like this peace of mind to try to get as much filtered water on the car, because as soon as I pull it forward and I start getting into the H2O garden gloss process, then, you know, if it dries in certain areas, I don't want to be getting water spots. But I'm not overly concerned with that, to be honest with you. And I'll be honest, one thing I should mention is, like, it's Wednesday at, what time is it now? 1:51. So like, you know, a Wednesday at 1 o'clock at a paint spray is not going to be busy. A Saturday at 11 o'clock, or yeah, Saturday at like 11 o'clock, it's going to be busy at the paint spray. So I would say, like, if you need to do a thorough wash and H2O Garden Gloss or protection, like pick the right day, because you don't want to be holding up a big line while you're at the pay and spray, you know? And like, look, there's no one behind me. I'm pretty sure both of these bays are open. So like, I'm not right now gonna even pull my car forward. I'm just gonna start doing H2O Garden Gloss here. But if somebody pulled up right behind me while I was doing H2O Gloss, I'd jump in the car, pull it forward, let them come in, and then I would finish it. Or if it is busy where like you did get your car clean, but then it gets really busy and you can't just like pull it forward, pull like around the block, as long as it's, you know, decent neighborhood, or pull it into the parking spot of the place, or you could even like drive it home and do it. But you want to get to a place where you can do the H2O Garden Gloss. The reason why I like to do it here and pull it forward and do it, if there's someone here, is you need the car to be wet to use H2O Garden Gloss. And that's like a big thing. You don't want to drive home and it dries, then you get there and try to do H2O Garden Gloss. But realistically, what you could do is then drive the car home and do like, you know, graphene detail spray or CS3 or something like that, you know? So, huh?
It's starting to rain.
Oh, nice. See, I told you, rain dance. It's raining right now. So what I'm gonna do really quick is I'm just gonna, I should have done this before. Look at that. I didn't even use this bucket to its full potential. Look at that nasty ass water. So I'm just gonna use this rinsing right now. And I have my, I definitely want to rinse this, and actually I'll probably switch to high pressure rinse. I don't need even like, whoa, maybe not. Don't do that. Spot free rinse, less pressure. There we go. But I can like rinse my tools out. And this thing, maybe I don't need a new angled weir brush as long as I rinse this out like crazy. Okay. Rinse my bucket off. I just want this to be somewhat clean when I get back into the car. And he has rubber floor mats, so it's okay if like the bucket's a little bit wet on the outside. I like cleaning my stuff before and then I can get this. Okay. And the question Matthew's looking for it. I'm curious, like, I'll just ask this to everybody here. You know, do people here wash during the winter? I know there's some people that would be like, I absolutely don't. There's some people that are like 100%, yes, I do. You know, do you take it through the drive-through car wash? I'm just curious, like, how people go about their like winter washing or keeping their car clean, especially like, you know, I guess like in my mind, washing your car during winter is like just that much more important because of what's on the road and how nasty your car gets. But
Anton asked if you have gotten his emails.
maybe? Anton, I'm gonna look again. Honestly, I've been so busy that I've been kind of out of pocket, which isn't the best like excuse, but I've been planning this like video, big video shoot, and then we were in Arizona for a week. We were doing like 12, 15-hour days, and then when I came back, I was crazy sick. So I'll make sure to check on that, Anton. I'm almost positive I did. I just can't. I'm not gonna say 100% because I'm gonna be like, yeah, I saw him, and then you're like, well, you didn't respond. You know, it's like, what the heck? Okay, so now I'm grabbing H2O Garden Gloss and 2 towels, and guess what? I screwed up. Actually, maybe not. No, I did. So I got 2 towels, okay? So one towel I want to keep dry, and the other towel I want to get wet, so I actually need to just hit this one more time because I 100% need this thing to be need this to be wet, because that's kind of how you when you use H2O Garden Gloss, you need one wet towel and one dry towel. So take this, get it wet. And that would be like the one thing I maybe forgot, which is fine. Listen, I'm not going to beat myself up for it, but that would be the one thing I forgot before I turned off all this stuff, is to get the towel wet before I turn all this off. So I spent about $20, okay? Which is fine. I don't do this all the time, so $20 maybe every month or so, I'm okay with, okay? So get the towel wet, then you wring it out. So now I have like a damp towel, and I have the dry towel. Maybe I could just throw it over my shoulder like this. And this is how you use H2O Garden Gloss. And just, I'm telling you, this is one of the best processes, especially for this time of year after you get your car clean. So damp towel, dry towel, and then I have H2O Garden Gloss here. Okay, you take this and you spray. I'll probably work in a section this big. So you spray, you don't want to overuse it, but you'll spray on. You can see the water just starts to fall off, okay? Spray on like that, and then you spray some into the towel. 4 sprays maybe. And now what I'm going to do is, it's like I'm applying this. I'm kind of working this in. So you take this and you start working this in to the area you just sprayed. And this can go on all the plastic, glass, and paint. Like that, it goes on all exterior surfaces, maybe with the exclusion of like a convertible top. But you rub this in, and essentially what it's doing, it's putting this protection layer of sealant, like a polymer sealant, like acrylic polymer sealant, and it's protecting it while I'm drying it at the same time. So once I do that, I'll set that one aside. You can see it's kind of streaky on there because it's wet. Then you take the dry towel and you just hit the area you just went over with the dry towel like this, really quick, just to even it out, make it look amazing. And now that section's done, okay, for the most part. Just go over it. And this is why, like, I always bring 4 towels, because your towels get wasted like pretty quick, but not that bad. So, and feel that, Matthew. All right, so like it also, it reduces like the friction level on your, because it's protecting it. So it makes it really slick. So coming back and washing it again makes it like really easy. But there's still a lot of water on this car. So I want to make sure that I wring this out before I move on to the next section. And so again, just a few sprays. I'll do this fender as well, this mirror. And then I forgot to spray, just a couple sprays, and then work this in like so. This is a product that was released, I think, in late 2015, early 2016. And it's just such a unique way of like doing things. I think it was like hard for people to understand at first. But like once people started using it, then it was like, whoa, you know, such a cool, easy way to add such a benefit to your car as far as like protection as well as like drying at the same time, you know. And probably what I would do is when I get back to the shop, I would, or maybe back to the shop or back to my house, is I would then take an air cannon and maybe have like slick and slide on my hip like this. When I say on my hip, it's hanging on in my holster in my pocket. But once I get back to where I'm gonna be, whether it's my garage or at home, then I'll take like my air cannon blower and blow it out of all this stuff, and then take like slick and slide, because that's kind of the equivalent of the spray to this as far as like a quick detailer, and go through and just blow all the water out of there and then knock it down with slick and slide real quick, just to make sure that I don't keep having water like bleeding out of the mirrors and the handles, and it doesn't create water spots, you know.
Ron asks, can you apply garden gloss over a ceramic coating?
Yes, Rod. So 100% you can apply H2O Garden Gloss over a ceramic coating, and I highly recommend it. It's not really slated. Like, it's not necessarily, we don't talk about it all that much as like this maintenance product for a ceramic coating, but it works amazing. So what happened was when we first launched H2O Garden Gloss, it was just a straight up polymer sealant. Like, it was only made out of that acrylic resin. But we got so many questions about that. Can it be used on a ceramic coating? And we were like, yeah, kind of, but it doesn't adhere very well. So then what we did is, I want to say 2018 maybe, we then added some silica to it. And silica is essentially what is like a boosting agent to a ceramic coating. Okay, and the silica now allows the H2O Garden Gloss to work in unison with the ceramic coating. And so, yes, you can absolutely, it will boost it, like it will help the hydrophobic, but it also, like, you know, I think a ceramic coating, it always makes your car feel really, really slick, but it doesn't have that kind of like thick protection polymer to it. You know, ceramic coatings are like very thin. And when you put look at the car, like it sort of adds this like thick layer of protection to it. And like when you look on the side of the car, I mean, the car's like glowing. It's so shiny, you know, so it's also kind of like, it's just feeding the protection that's on this car already. Or if you're using it, Rob, it's feeding that protection on your car that you have on there, the ceramic coating. So, and again, I think when we talk about like maintenance as far as ceramic coatings go, like there's a lot of products on the market that are quote unquote maintenance type of products, right? Like you have like a Boost, you have like our CS3 is like a maintenance product for a ceramic coated vehicle, but it also works by itself. H2O Garden Gloss, same thing. Like H2O Garden Gloss, if you use this exclusively and you did this to your car every other wash or every third wash, your car would always be protected, because this is a product that lasts a few months, you know, 6 to 8 months, I would say. And so look, if you're washing your car every 2 weeks and you do it every third wash, that means in, you know, 6 weeks, you're adding protection again to it. So for a long time, what I would do on my cars before spray coating hit the market is my routine was every third wash. So every just standard wash, I'd wash my car with car shampoo, okay? And then I would dry it with detail spray as my drying aid, because it was easy, always streak free no matter what, right? But then on that third wash, I would wash my car with wash and wax, because wash and wax has silica in it. So it would like help add this protection layer to my car. And then I would, after I'm done doing wash and wax as my car soap with like in my foam cannon and in my bucket, then when I was drying it, I would do this exact process of what I'm doing right now. And I'm not joking, like once I first started doing that process, you know, after I did it the first time, then the next time I came back to wash after like 3 weeks, the water beading was like insane. I was like, what? My cars never looked like this, you know? And so then, you know, I washed my car twice, and then on the third one I did it again. And it was like easier to do because my car had been protected already. So this is like a very unique, like if you're somebody that isn't quite ready to make the jump into ceramic coating a car, ceramic coating your car, this is a very easy, you know, routine add or routine alteration to what you're doing right now to protect your car and keep it protected for like forever, because you make it a part of your routine every third wash, and you're protecting it, making it look amazing. It's beating water, makes washing your car. Like Adam said in one of these videos, which I thought was like so cool, he said something along the lines of like, a detailed car is a much easier car to clean. And meaning detailed, it doesn't mean you need to go through and polish everything and do all this stuff. I think like detailing to Adam is very much like a clayed car, you know? And realistically, like a clayed car, and if the car has a ton of oxidation, then yeah, you polish it. But, you know, a detailed car that's been cared for, has protection agent on it, is a much easier car to take care of. You know, it's easier to wash it. It's easier to rinse it. When you wash it, you don't get as much damage because there's less surface tension. You know, your wash pad glides better. There's less dirt on the car, you know? So just think about it like that. Like even as simple as like, you know, doing a clay mitt while washing, then when you rinse it, do H2O Garden Gloss. Now you have a clayed and protected car, and the next time you go back to wash it and do all this stuff, it's gonna be easier to do, you know? And that's easy car care means less friction in your mental, which means you're gonna do it more, you know? So the easier that this process is for me, the more I'm gonna do it.
User named Classics asks, do you plan to make your products more accessible in Europe? I love your products, but it's so hard to get a hold of.
You know what, Classics?
Wish we knew the answer to that.
You know, I don't, unfortunately, I'm kind of just like the guy that teaches stuff and does videos, and I'd probably say somewhat of a product specialist maybe would be like a good way to put it. But yeah, I don't have much of a pulse on like the wholesale and like where we're available. What I would do is I would email customer service and get a hold of like somebody like Alan Sobran is his name, or yeah, I'd probably say Alan, or there's another, just try to get a hold of wholesale, and they can give a better answer to that, you know. I know that we have wholesalers throughout Europe. There's like a wholesaler in Turkey. There's a wholesale, and I don't know, to be honest, but I know definitely like plans for Adams Polish is to expand more internationally. I just don't know like where. And actually, Mr. Classics, where is it that you live at? I might be able to help you with that, or figure out like the closest place that it would be available. Europe, dude, we have like worldwide live today.
Yeah. A lot of Russian names.
Well, I think Anton's in the Philippines.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this towel is now like very damp. And the reason why I noticed it is, I don't know if you can see this, but when I wipe, it's streaky now. Do you see that?
Yeah.
So that means that I have too much product and water in this dry, quote unquote, dry towel. So I grabbed another borderless gray. So now when I do my second wipe, it's not gonna be streaky. It's gonna be a more clean finish. And I noticed it on this door. So I know I have about a quarter of the car left. So I wanted to make sure that I brought 4 towels for a reason, and that's because I pretty much knew I was going to use 3 towels for the H2O Garden Gloss process, and then I would use 1 towel if I need it. I brought it just in case, and that was if I needed to like do touch-ups. So if I need to do touch-ups after I'm done with this, then I would use CS3 or Slick and Slide. I brought CS3. And CS3 or Slick and Slide is like my touch-up spray and wipe product, whereas H2O Garden Gloss is like spray onto a wet car, apply, then wipe it off.
User It's Me asks, how would you restore your headlights?
It's me. I love that. Who is it? It's me.
It's me.
Yeah, exactly. How would you restore headlights? There's a couple different ways you can do it. You know, it kind of depends on how bad the headlights are. If they're crazy oxidized to where like it almost looks like a diffused light, the headlights are not clear, they're foggy or hazy, then generally when they're that bad, you need to sand them first, or at least compound and polish them, and then protect them. I think for the most part, like, to do it correctly, you need to polish them anyways. So at Adams Polishes, you know, generally when you ask a question, I want to make sure that I provide like a solution that we offer. We have some headlight restoration kits. They're like graphene headlight restoration kits, and they're pretty good. And we have two of them. One's called the Pro, and one's just called the headlight restoration kit. The non-Pro one.
I don't think we sell those.
Oh, we don't? Maybe not, but Matthew's gonna check really quick. But we used to, if we either do or we don't have these headlight restoration kits. And if we do, one has sandpaper and the other one doesn't, but they both for sure have like an oxidation removal wipe, pre-saturated wipe. And what you do is you use the pre-saturated oxidation wipe to get the oxidation off. Okay, so so on a car that maybe the lenses look yellow, but do we have them?
No, sold out.
Sold out. Okay, well, we don't have them. Forget it. By the way, don't do those things anyways. I don't use those because I personally am on the side of like you need to sand and polish them to do it the right way. So let's just say that your headlights are somewhat foggy, but they're foggy, but like if you touch them, like if you touch this, it doesn't feel textured, like it doesn't feel rough. If they don't feel rough yet, that means the oxidation hasn't gotten like really bad. What you can do is just go straight, do like compound with a blue foam pad. The blue foam works the best, by the way. For some reason on that material, it just works better than the microfiber. Polish it or compound it. So use the blue compound with a blue foam pad, compound it, and you'll see like it starts to clear up the lenses like pretty quick, like almost instantaneous. You can really see it happen. And then once you're done doing that, then follow it up with the white polish with the white foam pad, and then you'll be good. But make sure to protect them after. Like at least use the spray coating, the graphene ceramic spray coating. Now, if your lenses are like I was saying, like almost feels like textured because the oxidation has gotten so bad, then you need to sand them. And we actually have it's called Adams Polish's scratch removal sanding kit. And the scratch removal sanding kit comes with three different grits of sandpaper. And I would start with the 2000 grit first, and then I would move on, so do the 2000 grit sandpaper first, and you can do it dry. You don't need to do it wet. I mean, I think to reduce like your mess and dust from sanding, use water first. But anyways, start with the 2000, then follow it up with the 3000 grit, and then compound and polish like I was talking about before, which is the blue foam pad and the blue compound. And that, when you're using a machine polisher or you're using the sandpaper, so you use the sandpaper and then you finish it with the polishing process, that by far is like the best way to do it. And if I was a detailer offering that service, that's how I would do it. The machine polisher also expedites the process very quickly, and it reduces your effort level so you don't get super crazy tired. It's just the only variables you're changing. There we go. Look at that.
We're back.
I don't know if I was frozen for you guys. It was frozen for us, but anyways. So after I've done the whole car like this with H2O, then I'll just, for good measure, I'll come through and I'll just hit the wheels really quick just to even them out really fast. And if anything, I can add a little bit of protection to them. Probably not enough to really do a whole lot. If you want to have your wheels protected for winter, then 100% make sure to ceramic coat them before. That means like a wheel off ceramic coating where you pull them off, you clean them thoroughly and then ceramic coat them. And actually, I've been wanting to do a how to ceramic coat wheels live video for a while now. So maybe next week I could do something like that. But anyways.
AVP Graphics and Wraps asks, what products do you offer for wrap care and ceramic coating?
Yeah, it's a good question. AVP?
AVP.
AVP wraps. AVP can you respond and just tell us what AVP stands for? I'm just kind of curious. And I'm curious where you live at, where your shop is, because it'd be cool to know that stuff. Anyways, the thing about wraps is they're, obviously like wraps come in different materials. Like you have wraps that are matte finish, you have wraps that are satin finish, you have wraps that are gloss finish even, So for the most part, wraps, standard, like most of our line can work on wraps. I think there's certain products that work better than others. And so what I would tell you is all of our car soaps work great for wraps, okay? So like, I'd probably just say like our standard car soap, the blue one, for washing it. We also have like a matte detailer if you're dealing with a matte wrap, but also waterless wash is a great product for doing a waterless wash type of process. Our spray coating, the graphene ceramic spray coating, the advanced especially, because it's just a little bit more robust, that product is amazing for protecting wraps, but realistically, all of our ceramic coatings work really, really good for a matte vehicle because they don't add gloss. Like they'll add a richness to whatever the color the wrap is, especially like a matte or satin, but the water behavior just is, the hydrophobic is like crazy. So it makes cleaning wraps like that much easier, So the thing about satin and matte cars is that if you don't protect them with the ceramic coating, that dirt and grime just like sticks so hard to the surface because it's like a textured finish. So making like ceramic coating a matte finished vehicle, whether it's painted or wrapped, is just such a huge benefit to that, So unfortunately, we don't really have like a specific like, hey, this is Adams Polish's wrap line. It's just because almost all of our products, aside from polishing, like machine polishers and compound and polish, every single other, all of them like work for the most part. And I think as a wrap shop, you probably know off the top of your head, which is like products that work best on a wrap. Don't necessarily need to do like an iron remover or even like an aggressive clay, but standard maintenance, ceramic coating, all of our stuff works great for that. So
AVP Graphics and Wrap says he's from Houston, Texas, and name stands for Aquin Vivid Promotion. Aquin is his last name.
Oh, that's cool. I love that. Houston. Dude, Houston's like a huge market right now.
Oh yeah.
All that oil money, dude, guarantee AVP's wrapping like some crazy cars. AVP, let me know if that answer helps you. If not, email me, joe@adamspolishes.com. I could give you like a little bit better like rundown on it, more explanation, and then also like I could even like link products for you. We don't put a huge emphasis on wrapped vehicles just because our customer base doesn't, it's far and few between of people that have like a crazy wrapped car, I think more of the wrap that we deal with is like a car that's been wrapped for promotional purposes or for like a business, like our friends at Pins and Aces, they have like a really cool Denali that's wrapped, it says Pins and Aces with like the topo design. But as far as like cars coming into our shop or people inquiring about our products, it's not happening a lot. It's more like guys like you, AVP, that are like, hey, I'm looking for a better product for this. I would just say, off the top of my head, top 3 products for you as a wrap business: graphene ceramic spray coating, right off the bat, great product for wraps. I would say waterless wash is another really, really good product for you. And to be honest, for a shop like you, I would get hoseless wash, even in a gallon, and then dilute it down to a waterless wash. And then lastly, just like a standard car soap, or I would also say maybe like if you do have a car that you're ceramic coating, like if you have a matte wrapped car or gloss wrapped car that you ceramic coated with the graphene ceramic coating, graphene shampoo would be a really great soap to use to clean those cars, whether it's your customer or you to do that. I think probably those 3 are, pretty good products for that,
Randy Betancourt asks, how often should you be using an iron remover if the car is ceramic coated?
Oh, that's a good question. I think iron remover is sort of like a maintenance type of decontamination. So it's not something you need to use all that much. I would probably give it like, do an iron remover process maybe every like 3 months. But I also like, it depends. So this is a total loaded question because it's hard to standardize that. You know, I would say that a car like this, and if this was ceramic coated, during winter, you want to do an iron remover more consistently. The reason why is all these cars are driving and they have brake dust coming off of them and incorporating into the snow, and then the snow kicks up and goes onto the car. So like during winter, cars get more iron contamination than in summer. And so if you live more in winter, I would say like do an iron remover process maybe every month, right? And what you could do is focus on more of the rear portion of the car and the bottom half. You don't need to do like the whole thing, right? Mainly like this back fender and C-pillar, as well as the rear of the car gets the most iron contamination. So in winter conditions, harsh weather, especially like snow, I would say do an iron remover every month or so, right? And I don't know, maybe every month or maybe every couple months. Doesn't have to be like that crazy. But for a car like say Southern California, you know, I would say a dark colored car, you can do it less because the iron stuff's not going to show up as much. On a white car, for sure, it's going to show up more. You get all those orange and black specks on the car that you don't get off when you wash. Then you do an iron remover during that process. So, you know, less harsh weather, less amount of times you have to do it. More harsh weather, the more you need to do it. I hope that's a decent enough answer, because it's sort of like a loaded question. I think also like, where do you live? You know, you live next to the railroad, you should do it like every week. You know, do you drive on the highway a lot? Then, you know, and you're driving next to semi trucks a lot, then maybe like even a little bit more. So it just kind of depends. You got to kind of make your own assessment on that. So put the bucket back in, put my wheel cleaning tools on the rubber mat. So again, like got the car H2O garden gloss, right? So we're protected now. Get these towels back in here. I still have one towel left. I have CS3. So like, let's say that there's a little bit of spot that I missed, then I can just take my CS3, give it like a little spray, or if that was like slick and slide, and just like go through and maybe wipe down the rest of the car. The other thing I'd probably use CS3 for, whether it's CS3 slick and slide or even like detail spray or waterless wash, is then I would do this. I would go through and hit the door jambs. Because the reason why you want to do the door jambs is, especially like right here, is because if you go to get into the car and it gets your clothes all dirty, you really don't want that. So I would go through and I would probably, you know, I have this new towel. I'd probably use one of the junky towels first and then finish it with the nice towel. But go through and do your door jambs as a final step. And then the ultimate final step is then graphene tire dressing. So that'd just be a matter of taking the graphene tire dressing. This will be the last thing I do. Spray into the tread. So this is a low profile tire. So instead of using the broad surface, I'll flip it. I'll use the more skinny side. Spray a few in there.
Eric H says, hi, what is the best way to clean a ceramic coated car after a month of not washing?
Best way to clean a ceramic coated car after a month of not washing. From Eric. By the way, hi Eric. But anyways, best way to clean a ceramic coated car after a month of not washing is to do a very thorough 2-bucket wash, okay? And on our YouTube here, we actually have like a really good video from a couple years back that was like how to wash your car without scratching. That is like the most in-depth way to clean your car without scratching it. But realize your car is ceramic coated, so it's a little bit more, it's protected. So it's going to be a little bit easier to clean And so don't overthink it too much. I think like if somebody asks, I get this question a lot, to be honest, and people say, what's the best maintenance product for a ceramic coated car? Well, a nice thorough 2-bucket wash. Like a very thoughtful way of cleaning your car is going to warrant the best results because you're reducing the amount of damage you put into the car. And if there was one product I would tell you to get, Eric, for a ceramic coated vehicle, it would be a pressure washer because that gets more dirt and grime off of the car by just rinsing it, right? And I would say if you're not going to buy a pressure washer, you don't have one, then come to a place like this and use the pressure washer here and do like a thorough washing here. But yeah, like a thorough 2-bucket wash is just like the best way. I mean, it's realistically, it's like the best way to clean any car, you know, to give it, you know, you're using grit guards. So if your car hadn't been washed in a month, there's going to be more dirt and grime on it. So you wash it, do smaller sections and go to the grit guard more often. So you don't have loose dirt and grime in your wash pad while you're using it. And yeah, I think then like help boost it a little bit, you know, maybe use like Graphene Boost or Graphene CS3 to just like help. Even this H2O garden gloss I use today, that's another great product to use as a maintenance type of thing. So Eric, tell me if that answers your question. I hope it does.
Is asking if you can put an email in chat or ask him.
Yeah, if somebody on here wants to put my email in the chat, it's pretty simple. It's just joe@adamspolishes.com. Yeah, hit me up, and I can work with you a little bit more on like having a better understanding. It's almost like, actually, you know what, Mr. AVP, let me know your name so I can call you your name. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to call my buddy Dan, who does like blog write-ups. And what we can do is I'll make a blog write-up on like how to care for wrapped vehicles, whether that's gloss or a matte finish. Because I think that's kind of it's a question we get not often, but we definitely get it. And it's mainly from shops like you guys. And it would be kind of nice to have a resource for customer service and or even like us on this live to be like, yeah, hey, I'm about to talk about a bunch of products and that you'll never remember. You know, we could just like link a how to care for a wrapped vehicle type of write-up, which is going to be a lot easier for you to understand. So I'll work with Dan to get something like that out to onto our website to our customers, because I think it's a good enough question. Okay, I went way over. What time is it? Dang, hour and a half. A lot of blah, blah, blah coming from my side. But I hope today was helpful for you guys. I mean, I think, you know, I missed the live the last few weeks, and it's nice to get back into the routine. And next week, what I'm going to try to do is we'll try to do how to ceramic coat wheels. Okay, and that's like a wheel off ceramic coating, meaning I'll probably focus on one for the week. But we'll do that, how to ceramic coat wheels, next week. And then you know, I hope today was helpful. I mean, look at the car. This is exactly how I want my car to look after I do a winter wash. It's not perfect, but it does feel much better, right? Because H2O garden gloss is definitely helping the car. It looks nice and shiny and presentable. But realistically, what I'm happy about is like the salt and all that stuff is like off my paint, you know. And the other thing I would too recommend is like there's a lot of places that do, you know, undercarriage cleaning. You can go through a self-serve car wash and they'll blast the underneath. They'll even like use some of that like mag chloride cleaner and do that every once in a while. We work a lot with a company called Auto Wash. They're a really good resource. That's mainly like in Colorado, I think. But find a good place like this, like Glacier Car and Dog Wash. They love us. They want us to come here and use the product. So find a place like this that allows you to do it and, you know, be awesome.
AVP says says his name is Dennis Aucoin.
Mr. Dennis, there we go.
And Eric H. says, love you and thanks. Always buy your products. He's from Korea.
Oh, really? No way. Jeez. So what do we have? France, Korea, Anton's from the Philippines. We also had someone from Europe. We're doing pretty good, Matthew.
Everywhere.
I love that. That's really cool. Well, listen, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me on Wednesdays. You know, I think at least for me, getting a lot of these questions like sparks new ideas for us. So, you know, Dennis was asking about how to care for a wrapped vehicle. It sparked an idea for me to create a blog write-up that we can use as a resource for people like Dennis. So listen, if you're here to hang out and learn stuff, bring me great questions, bring me ideas, and we will absolutely try to bring them to the table. So thank you everybody for watching. I will catch you, I said thank you everybody for watching. I did the washing, but thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next week. We'll try to do how to ceramic coat wheels, and if we can't do that, we'll pick something different, but I'm pretty sure we can put that together. So how to ceramic coat wheels next week, definitely like one of my favorite things to do. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next Wednesday.